shrimp is a thing in Kauai, maybe a thing in Hawaii. We've been finding along our travels, people have been recommending it to us over and over, so we've decided to come over and hit a little bit of shrimp here at a roadside shack that is just kind of in the middle of a little town that looks like it has been kind of overtaken by touristy stuff, but it's a nice enough little place. Shaved ice places, tacky t-shirts, shrimp. So when you do this, you can get a few different flavors. There's a garlic one, there's like a sweet chili one, there is a Cajun set of shrimp, and that's what we have decided to go with. And I have just realized that the casing, the shell is still on the outside of the shrimp. And they gave us forks, but I'm just going to eat it with my fingers because I don't know how a fork is going to... I don't really know how to eat this. I'm just going to look really dumb here for a second. Okay, so the shell peels off pretty easy. And I'm pretty excited about this Cajun sauce in general. Like, is this a general rule? Because stuff from that part of the world is usually pretty tasty. And it's going to hopefully have a little bit of kick. The shrimp flavor, the meat of the shrimp, is really full. Oh, dude. That's really good. It's really tasty. The Cajun sauce is definitely there. A little bit of a burn in the back of the mouth, but the standout moment is just the shrimp in itself has a lot of flavor. Most of the time I eat shrimp, it's like in sushi and it's in like tempura and stuff like that. And a lot of times I don't feel like the shrimp itself has got a lot of game, but this shrimp has got a lot of game. Very tasty. I come to somewhat of a crossroads.
Yes. Is it a crossroads in our opinion of what we should do? Do you
No.
differ?
I have no opinion. So the situation is that there is a road that runs, like I had explained before, that the island is a circle, of course, because it's an island. Well, I guess not all islands are circles. This one is mostly circular, and it has a road that I would say is a U shape. And the top of the road does not connect because the way that the coastline is very difficult to build a road on. But the coastline is super, super, super like a world-class, incredibly beautiful. So there is a dirt road that you can drive out that gets you a somewhat view of that area and a view of the sunset from our understanding.
An unimproved,
Yes.
narrow dirt road.
Yeah, all of those things. I talked to a lifeguard and I was like, yo, like, how do I go up there? And he was just like, you can't do it in a regular car. However, we came here last night and it's supposed to be a 45-minute drive in a 4x4. And we talked to a guy that was going in there who was clearly a dude that knows the road. He was like in a 4x4.
He was like, come on,
He's like, come on, you can do it. You can do it. And we're in like a tiny little Nissan Vera. So this is not like, we are not in a 4x4.
Nissan Versa.
The Versa, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And we actually talked to a Versa that went in and turned around
before
that. So we got a bit of a mixed message.
The deal is, though, that it looks a lot drier than it looked yesterday by a significant amount. And I'm thinking maybe we can drive back there and give it a try. The other option would be to hitchhike, but there aren't very many cars passing us right now.
Here comes one. It's a minivan.
It's a minivan. Probably.
It's a minivan.
The minivan's got about as good of a shot as we do. So.
Oh, they're stopping.
They're doing the same. They're having the same conversation.
Yeah. Should we do it? I don't know.
The thing that's funny is when you're coming up to this area, the road coming out of it is covered in mud. And the road, like the other side of the road is clear. It's a really funny image. You're like, people got muddy up in there.
And we have seen cars just drenched in mud.
Yeah,
like the hood has mud on it.
Yeah, like all over it.
So we're kind of assuming it's going to get messy down there. Where we're looking right now, it's quite dry.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. I think that there's people back there with 4x4s, and if you get stuck in a little car, some dude is going to give you a hand.
And some dude's going to go, oh, I can take on that challenge.
Yeah. Somebody's going to know how to hook the car up and pull it out of the mud.
And he's going to go, it might scratch your car. And I'm just going to look at him and go,
full coverage. The minivan is turning around. They did not make it far.
No. Oh, wow. We spoke too soon. Why would they have turned completely perpendicular to the road?
I think maybe there's probably a conversation being had.
Yeah. No. Should we? Maybe.
There are some small cars coming. Let's ask them when they get out.
Okay.
Did you make it?
Is it okay?
Crossroads. I'll meet you at the crossroads. What's that song? I'm gonna be howling. And the guy sings like.
Oh my god! I've never heard anybody kill Bone Thugs in harmony as you have right now.
What does he say? He says something like really hype.
crossroads.
But then he
so
says,
you won't be
"You're
lonely." So white.
Speak for yourself. All right, so a dude just came out in this exact car because it's a common rental car. And I talked to him and he said, I was like, how was it? And he said, don't do it. Do not do it. It was terrible. It was terrible. It's terrible. And I said, but did you make it? And he said, yeah, we made it. It's doable, but it's terrible. He said it's 45 minutes one way on this rather bumpy road. As you can see, we're bumping. So we're going to give it a go. And I asked specifically about mud. And he said that the mud shouldn't be too bad right now. He said there were a couple places that it was a little sketchy, but he made it through. So I think we're gonna be all right. I think we'll make it. It's just gonna be this for
A lot of bouncing.
we got 90 minutes of this planned for the day.
Okay. I'm in.
Full coverage, y'all.
10-minute update. How is it going?
A little bit on the bumpy side, but I
We
think
have-
it's gonna be fine. The reason he just been through 90 minutes of this with his somewhat not happy looking wife and child in the back seat. I think our circumstances are a little bit different, but maybe we'll have a different outlook on the way back out because we're gonna probably be doing it in the dark.
I hope we're not going to be doing it in the dark. I think we're going to be fine on that. We've hit some muddy patches, but none of it's really seemed that scary other than the fact that you kind of have to think about it like snow. You can't just stop. You need to keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
That's really wet ahead. All right. We're going to start focusing on the oh shit handle. 20 minutes. How we doing?
We're still moving. I gotta say though, I'm white knuckling this, a lot of this, like just holding the steering wheel, like squeezing it as tight as possible.
I'm going to have arthritis afterwards.
Yeah, well, a couple of trucks passed us at one point, got us a little muddy, not a big deal. Again, nothing has been show-stopping or even like scoringly show-stopping.
Yeah.
It's just really damn bumpy. That's really what it comes down to. And
I think the worst thing I've worried about is the suspension or the shocks on the car are going to just be kaput, but full coverage.
Even with that, if I thought we were going to damage the car, I wouldn't be doing this. I really don't think we will.
That is not in the spirit of full coverage.
Yeah, I mean, even if you have full coverage, you can't be a dick. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's going to be fine. We're going so slow. I'm going 4 right now. Like, it's just not gonna.
It feels a lot faster.
It does. It feels like we're going very quick, but it's very slow.
We're not chewing gum so that we look casual. 30-minute marker, and there was actually a fork in the road. We really didn't expect a fork in the road, and the fork kind of was saying it was a state park and didn't tell us really what was going on in certain places. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, we're going through a good bit of mud now.
Yeah, this is
Wow.
the sketchiest bit.
This is the sketchiest bit.
The good news is that there's now a small car in front of us, and I can follow them, and if they get stuck, I don't go the way they went. So it kind of helps eliminate some of the choices I have to make.
Yeah,
And we've only got, what, 15 minutes left?
possibly. We'll see.
And then we got to go back.
And then we've got to go back. 40-minute update.
We made it to what we think is the end. Well, it's as far as this car is going. This little patch that's right here is just not okay for this car. As you can see, it's a little bit muddy, but not ridiculous. Did a good job. And we've come to a point where you can see some ocean. And you spin around with me, and then the sun will blare you out, and then hopefully the ocean will come into focus. And now you get to see what we get to see. It's very nice. We made it to an area where there's a nice beach. Walk across the beach, walk a little further, and then you get to some rocky areas. But the overwhelming scenery is what I'm gonna show you by doing that. That is crazy looking. And when you look up at it in real life, it's disorienting. It feels like it's falling over on you. You can't it's just like, I don't know. It's disorienting is the best way I can explain. We're gonna see how far we can go down there. We kind of want to peek around this corner that's there-ish, but I'm a little worried about time at the moment. I don't want to do this drive in the dark, y'all. All right, we're not doing math. And the math includes the sun going down and the slowness of walking across these rocks really slows you down. If it's this beach, you'd be fine. But the other math equation is the tide is starting to come in, and we don't really have any idea how high it will come.
Or how
and
quick it'll come.
how quickly it will come. And if the tide does come in, and we have to walk out through this bush, that would just be pure hell. So I just think it's not intelligent to go look around that corner. But this is pretty badass looking.
Yeah, you look up and it feels like it's about to fall on you.
Yeah.
And even without looking at the Napali Coast, looking in that direction is what dreams are made of. When people dream about the beach, they dream about what I'm looking at right now, and that is just insane. Last 400 meters. The way back went extremely faster, I'd say even 10 minutes faster, mainly because we didn't pull over to figure out where we were going. There were no forks in the road that were unexpected. And we had a car in front of us the entire time, which we could just kind of watch what they did and make a judgment for ourselves based on what they did. They did some things that we would have never done.
Like just straight through these huge puddles.
Well, they did. They went straight through the huge puddle, and we went straight through the huge puddle after them. Like, oh, they did it, but that felt very bad.
Yeah.
You immediately had punishment for that. If it felt like you shouldn't have been doing that. The rest of it was totally fine. They have skedaddled out of here. And we're still taking our time, even on the dry bits, because it's quite bumpy.
I feel like we didn't see what people are raving about at the end of that road. Like, you had to go around that bit to get the reward. And I feel like I didn't get the reward that you know what I mean? Like, there's this little piece of me, because we didn't get around that tip, that I'm just like, wow, we didn't get to see the thing, you know?
And I thought to myself as we were going up to that tip, I'm here now, I should do it, or I'm always going to wonder if around that corner looked crazy different.
Yeah, but then you got to calculate it. What got me is, most of all, what got me was that the tide was coming up.
Yes.
Like that I'm not fucking with the tide, man.
Yeah. We could probably navigate this back in the dark slowly but surely.
Yeah,
like,
and
that's fine.
In worst case scenario, we could sleep in the car. But if the tide came all the way in, we'd be in some dire straits.
Yes.
It would be a huge bummer. So, like, that was just, it sort of solved the question for me. But we're about to be on the main road, and then we get to be that muddy
One
car.
last dip.
That last dip is it's a doozy.
Woo!
All right.
We've come to a place called Simon Dojo. Simon is the name for kind of a Chinese noodle soup done in a Hawaiian way. The basis is kind of an egg noodle. The broth is particular to every place that you would go. They're going to do it in their own way. So me tasting this now means like any other place I go to is probably going to taste possibly completely different. It comes served with Spam and kamaboko, which is just, to us, we just call these fish cakes, and some greens. Scrambled eggs are included in this, and I noticed that they're kind of shredded. I read on the internet shredded eggs, and I was like, what does that mean? What does shredded eggs mean? And some onions on top. Yeah. I read that this kind of came about during the plantation time. This is considered to be like a comfort food that people would eat at any time during the day, and it looks pretty darn good. You just asked me if I was interested in what I was about to eat, and I think I was just sitting here going, and yes, I'm interested. Broth is flavorful, but kind of relaxed. The noodles are the consistency that I want and need. A little bit hard, but kind of chewy. And the Spam has been cooked on all sides. I'm a fan of this.
How's those eggs?
Shredded! Can you make an egg in the soup? Good. Very omelette-y.
So this is like Japanese influenced ramen or like a Chinese influenced thing, but do you feel like it has a twist? Is it like Hawaiian twisted, do you think? The Spam is a pretty Hawaiian twist. You wouldn't normally see that on such a dish in Asia, but...
And maybe the egg noodle kind of has a bit of a twist because ramen's not typically made out of egg from my knowledge. The soup, pretty high in sodium, still kind of relaxed, although high in sodium. I wouldn't say that the broth gives me a tang of Hawaiian at all, but overall, I'm pretty excited about this because I haven't had noodles in a while.
What is this called?
Chili pepper plate. Chili pepper fried chicken plate.
How's it going? I got a chili pepper fried chicken plate, and basically what that is it looks like it's kyde, which is Japanese fried chicken, and they have added some toppings to it. And then the plate aspect of it is the Hawaiian aspect, where they've added a couple of rice scoops and then some mac or whatever, like potato salad type of stuff.
That's the best part.
That stuff's always good. Like it seems like everybody's just got that nailed down. But let's try some of the chicken. See what we get. They put some nori on it and some green peppers, scallions or whatever. No, are those scallions?
Scallions.
Are those scallions?
Does it look as good as the picture? Or does it taste as good as the
It
picture?
looks as good as the picture, yes. It is. It's good. It's not Japanese karaage quality chicken. I don't know what they do, but it's a little different there. And this leans more towards like American style fried chicken. But the top end of it, it's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's got a lot of flavor to it. Like a lot of flavor. Something we were talking about is that the difference between Japanese food and American food, in a way, like one of the many differences, is that I feel like Japanese food or American food has a lot of volume. And I don't mean like volume by like I don't mean volume like a measurement of weight or area or whatever. I mean volume as in like the sound, but the amount of taste that your taste buds gets hit by. So when you're in Japan, things are delicious, but they're kind of like subdued in flavor, and things are kind of like this, you know? But when you eat American food, even if it's like an American spin on a Japanese dish or an Asian dish, it's like the volume of the taste is just like, boom, like ramped up. And that's what's going on with this. It's not bad, it's just loud.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. That is exactly what we're going to do today. And this is waterfall number 1. This is actually very close to where we're staying. I can't pronounce the name of it. It's like Opeheka. Something like that. Yeah. And we've been driving past this every day, and we haven't stopped because we've just been going other places. But today is waterfall day, or at least waterfall morning. And this is a pretty good start. That's not a waterfall I'd sneeze at. It's got a good breadth. I mean, it definitely.
It's got a good who now?
Breadth. It's wide in like certain areas. Like it starts out small, gets wide. It's a dropper. I like the dropper, and it's double. Acai.
Asahi? Asahi like the beer?
Acai.
Acai.
Acai. There's no H in it.
I've seen this word like a million times. I kind of know it's like a bowl of fruit with some like granola or whatever, but I've never actually had one. And sometimes
I feel like we're really far behind the curve.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And they have them in Japan. But they spell it with like a C that's got like a leg hanging off of it and stuff. Man, I don't know what's going on with that C. So anyway, you looked it up online, and that's the best we got up, right? Acai. I think I'm saying it the right deal.
Yeah.
So the people that we're staying with had mentioned that this little place down here, it's in a shopping center, is a good place to come down here and get acai bowls. And we've come and got one.
We've gone with coconut, hardcore.
You chose the coconut specifically because? Because
it has hayupia in it, and that is like a coconut pudding, I assume specific to Hawaii. So hopefully when I get down in there, we'll get a little note about that.
So
but
already...
flaked coconut on top, coconut innards on the side, papaya, mango, bananas, and mystery down below. They did not ask me, like...
anything.
They asked me no questions, and there were questions I needed to answer. So if I needed this to be gluten-free, they didn't ask.
I think if you just ordered a standard, they just... You're supposed to step up? I don't know.
I guess you're supposed to step up. If I break out in hives, we're coming right back.
This thing is 24 ounces. It's
How did you know it was 24 ounces?
Because it says it on the
side. Wow.
It says it on the side. Bang, 24 ounces. But that's pretty heavy, man.
It's really heavy.
How much? It was $12 or something?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's not that bad for a bunch of fruit of that weight. presented
I
in this
already
place.
ate one of the little coconuts and it was quite good.
Yeah.
So,
Do you think it's going to change as we dig down?
I think it's, well, all the fruit's on the top. As you dig down,
What is that?
you
Uncle?
see, this is
Peanut
another
butter?
thing you could have asked for, and now I don't know what it is. I assume this is acai.
Oh, that's a thing? I thought it was just the name of the bowl. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like this purple. Okay, I've smelled this before.
It's like ice cream.
We're the dumbest white people in the world.
Yeah, we are.
Because aren't all white people supposed to know what this is?
I don't know, but there's
It's
a
kind
lot
of like smoothie stuff.
there's a lot of granola down at the bottom.
Oh, it's pretty good.
I haven't found the pudding yet.
Yeah, that's not bad, man.
Yeah. I say we start eating, we'll see if we find the pudding.
We thinking that this coconut jelly, is that what that was?
Pudding.
Pudding. Maybe it's just blended in with everything.
Yeah.
Because the flavor of coconut is pretty strong in like a really good way. And the coconut chunks and stuff are soft. The coconut powder stuff on top of it is really good. And it's a really good complement to the purple stuff, the acai. Acai. I'm bad at, man. I'm really not good at things like this. I need katakana on it or something to help me out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it complements it really well. This thing is really good. I've always avoided them because I was like, that looks really expensive and just like one of those things that white girls are eating and like whatever. I'm a white girl now. Let me tell you what. Whatever they're standing in line for, I might start reconsidering my life.
I just got a mouthful of nuts. There's at least like 3. And they weren't anywhere else. Where'd they come from?
We're at Waterfall number 2. Do you know what this one's called?
Wailua Falls.
And, well, this is Waterfall number 2 of the day. We actually, you can't really go very far without stepping into a waterfall on this island.
That is
There's
true.
a lot of rivers, a lot of valleys, and a lot of water flowing through things. So you're just gonna get a lot of waterfalls. This is kind of the one of the defining characteristics of Kauai. This specific waterfall it's a waterfall. It's nice. I mean, I could not make a better waterfall.
Characteristics are thick, and you can't see the bottom, so it's a never-ending waterfall.
But there is a pool down there, and my favorite bit is that the pool, it's kind of hard to explain, and I don't think it's going to capture on video very well, but the pool is a big wide area from the force of the falls, and you can tell sometimes it's coming down a lot heavier because areas that are pushed away, like the rock and stuff that's been eaten away, is a bigger radius than what's being forced down now. And there's this amazing tree at the bottom of the pool with this really sharp lean away from the waterfall that is just looks like that's been formed by just like the pressure of the wind and all the water and everything coming off of it. And the tree just looks like something, you said, like something Bob Ross would paint or something. Like, it doesn't look like it's real. It doesn't actually look like it's there, but it's really picturesque, very cool looking. And that's my favorite feature of this waterfall. We're on a boat, y'all.
And that has destroyed our waterfall dreams.
Yeah, we saw 2 waterfalls today, and then
we were going for the 3rd, and as we were heading there, I did the round of calls to find out if we could get on a boat today.
So the deal is that it's the middle of winter. It's the Christmas time, between Christmas and New Year's right now.
Yeah.
So it's super busy here, and a lot of the boats and stuff are completely booked. So we hadn't booked in advance. Katie ended up finding a place that had an open slot, like they had a cancellation or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So we just basically headed straight here. It's about 2 o'clock now.
Very lucky.
And the goal is to see the Napali
Napali
Coast,
Coast,
which is the place that we tried to go yesterday in the car and couldn't peek around the corner. So maybe we'll get to see it. But because it's winter, the winds are really strong, the waves can be really high, and I heard the dude say we have a 70% chance of making it. So it's possible we will not make it again. And if we don't make it, I'm thinking it's probably our fault. Everybody on this boat can just be angry at us because we keep trying to get there and it just won't work out.
I don't know if I can take that guilt.
We are now about...
I really look like a scientist.
the equal distance that we went yesterday up that bumpy road, and we are surpassing that small point that we weren't able to look around the edge. And my summation is that we wouldn't have seen a whole lot more that had changed just by peeking around the corner that we had.
You really need to be out here. It is.
Yeah, you'd have to come out further to get a good angle on it all. Something else that's notable that happened and was unexpected. We're on an afternoon cruise, but we ended up seeing a bunch of bottlenose dolphins.
They can't guarantee them in the afternoon.
The dude said that there were probably hundreds of them around us. I mean, there were quite a few. They came over and swam in front of the boat and stuff. That was a nice treat.
What do you normally see in the aquarium with these guys here? These are Pacific bottlenose. There's Atlantic bottlenose. Anybody know the difference between Atlantic and Pacific is? Anybody?
We made it.
We made it. It was a gamble, and we're totally sitting here right now. I'm unbelieving that this Monday has turned out this way.
The shape of these hills is just unbelievable. It just shoots up like spires out of the ocean, basically. And there's the greenery, and there's some red on it and stuff, and the water splashing against it. It's really, really unearthly. It's not unearthly. It's earthly in the best possible way.
What it reminds me of is that when you have like an ice cream in the pitcher, you got the pitcher of ice cream, and then you've gone in and you've scooped out a whole bunch, and those edges that are just sitting there. It looks like somebody just has been ice cream scooping Kauai for a really long time.
And we saw a whale on the way, a couple of whales.
There goes the tail. There it goes. There it goes. All right. Goodbye.
This is pretty good adventure so
There's
far.
a lot of magic going on here.
These are spinner dolphins. These are smaller than the ones we saw earlier. They're spinners. Let me see Ruby. Do it again. There he goes. There he goes.
Yeah. There's a hinge above seats. You lift it
Oh,
up.
the engine hatches. Oh, just the engine hatches.
What were you doing down there?
Just looking to see if they're still there.
Okay.
They were.
Cool.
How was your cruise to the Napali? Am I saying that right? Napali? Napali
yeah.
Coast. How was your cruise to the Napali Coast?
Even better than expected.
Yeah.
I expected that we'd get like halfway and have to turn around. So definitely better than expected.
They mentioned that, if it gets dangerous from wind or from wave size or whatever, that you have to turn around. You could see some gnarly waves in some places.
Yes,
really
some waves were
big waves were
hitting
happening.
rocks that were just really high up, and you just thought to yourself, I would never go swimming there.
And we also got to have a meal while we were there. It had like a little buffet with some teriyaki chicken and some stuff.
I made a pork sandwich.
And there was an open bar, dudes.
Yeah, I had
Katie had 4 Mai Tais.
Tais.
I'm driving, so I had 0 Mai Tais, but I am under the impression you're a little tipsy.
I am ready to drive. I have all of the navigation ready. I'm ready to tell you any data that needs to happen on the road. I am ready to be in the passenger seat.
So the only other way that you can go up and see that coastline that is realistic at this point would be to take a helicopter flight.
How much is that helicopter?
We looked, isn't it $300 per person?
It's more than $300 per person.
Yeah, I think it was like pushing into $700, which is like, dude, we saw some helicopters while we were out there on the boat. They go down in the coast. They go down through the valleys and stuff. It looks amazing, but it's more than our flight from Japan here.
It is not more than our flight from
close.
Japan here. It is equal. It's like $600 if you want to take 2 of us out to go and do a helicopter thing. It cost us $700 to get here.
For both of us.
Straight talk, if we come back to Kauai, I will know that $600 will be dropped on a helicopter ride.
I mean, you don't got to come back. You just do it.
Oh my God.
I've been trying to justify this just because of how amazing it looks.
Yeah, I can't justify it.
It's just so expensive. And on top of that, a couple days ago, a helicopter crashed. And literally everybody on the helicopter died.
Yeah.
So that part's a little sketchy. I don't think that that's normal operations. I think it's just things happen. But it's just so ridiculously cost prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
I just cannot justify the cost. But for those of you who do, I know you saw some amazing stuff because I've just heard everybody that's talked about it to us has just been like, it's the coolest thing ever. But yeah, I think we're gonna. That's kind of like I decided when we took the boat. I was like, well, that seals the deal on making a decision about that. I can't do both.
The boat sealed the deal on the fact that we won't be doing the helicopter for this one, but it sealed the deal on the fact that I'll be doing the helicopter on the next one.
Okay.
Because
fair
I will
enough.
think to myself,
Start putting a quarter in the jar every day, and next time you come to Kauai, you'll have enough money in the jar.
A mental quarter in the jar. That's probably not going to happen. Yeah, that will be how it works. Knowing if I come here again, $600.
I'm just happy we got to go up and see that coast.
Oh,
and it totally makes sense why there's not a road up there.
No way. Even if we hiked all the way down the 11-mile trail that we're going to do tomorrow, you'd still just get an angle of it, and that's just not good enough.
You have to leave the island to see it.
Where we drove up, you just get an angle of it from a different angle, and it's not enough. You have to go out and look at the whole thing. And so many people have said that, and they're so right.
Yeah.
So right.
Yeah.
So don't try to drive it. Don't try to hike it. Either you're flying it or you're boating it.
Yeah. And if you fly it, make a video and send it to us. I want to see.
Yeah. Motherfucker's got a trailer.
Yeah. But if it gets stuck, you can leave it.
Alright guys, pretty cool little distraction here, but I still want to try to get up to the Napali Coast, so we're going to bring you off the nets up front, guys. We're going to bring you back to the front, actually.
Thanks to everyone who's supporting our project over at Patreon for making these videos possible. If you'd like to help keep these videos coming, consider supporting us too. Links down below. Catch up on our Hawaii series with the playlist linked on screen. More on the way soon.